We are back. Hey, Heidi.
Hey, Cindy. How you doing?
Episode. This is episode 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Here we go.
Oh, I just love that intro. Hey, lady. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our second episode.
Woo!
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a big balloon behind us that's saying number 2. You guys see it? It's somewhere back
there. There it is.
We're happy. We're happy. We're moving and we're grooving. This is Coffee and Conversations with a twist.
With a twist.
I'm Cindy.
And I'm Heidi.
And this is your poetic podcast.
Hi. And we're here to, speak. Coffee.
Yeah.
Oh. Poetry.
Well, today's coffee was Heidi suggested.
Yes.
It came from the donut plant.
Mm-hmm.
And was there any particular reason? No?
Well, the pen. So this pen that's a little like coffee cup, we just love it, right? And it fits our whole vibe. So I was like, let's get coffee from there today. And I do like their coffee. They make really good coffee.
Yeah, this is my first time trying it. And actually, when me and Heidi, we were together. What
It's on the other side. Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Got it. Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Heidi was together, and she has this jacket that has all these really cute pins on it. I'm going to copy it.
Last week. It's okay.
I'm going to copy.
No, copy.
I just love it because it's like totally cute. So she has all these pins on here.
Yeah.
So we need to get our pin. Our Coffee and Conversations pin. So look out for the merchandise. It's coming soon.
Merch.
We got so much to do.
We do.
Yeah.
So speaking of, what a busy month.
It has
right? It seems like we were just here literally like a couple days ago, and it's been weeks now.
The vibe is awesome. I love it.
Always. The vibe is always great. And, really we've both talked about poetry and what it means to us and our mental health journeys as well. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
So, how great, just tie our poetry into that. And I thought we could talk a little bit about falling apart. You know something about falling apart?
Well, these days, it's very easy to fall apart.
It means so many things, though, right? Mm-hmm. And finding that safe space to fall apart in.
Yeah.
Poetry.
I think it's so important, though.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think that every day can be a perfect day. In as much as you want it to be a perfect day, it just simply cannot. And I've learned to adjust to that. I do let my bad days be bad and my good days be good. I mean, really.
That's good practice.
I can't do anything more than just what's before me. So some days, if I just feel like wearing 10 dozen colors, I'll wear 10 dozen colors.
That's right. 10 dozen.
Ask me why I wore 10 dozen colors because I wanted to. Maybe I should make a poem that says 10 dozen colors.
I like it. You already started it right now. I feel it.
I feel it's there.
10 dozen colors.
So what does falling apart mean to you?
Falling apart has meant so many different things throughout the years. As we grow and change, and after we fall apart, it redefines itself again.
It does.
And for me, that's through poetry a lot. And I've learned how to process that through poetry when that wasn't always the case. And falling apart is okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be there. That's normal. We don't have to be oh, don't be sad. Don't. Yes, do. It's cool. That's who we are, but let's not stay there.
That's the important part. I think that's what it would with myself. Anybody who knows me, and one of my things that I love to say, problem, solution. It's okay to have a problem.
Yes.
My thing is to find the solution, because if you don't find the solution, you will find you stay there, and staying there is not healthy at all. So you got to find a way. You got to find that friend, that person.
Or people.
That thing, that poem.
It's been a network for me. I've really, in the past few years, for the first time, maybe 6 years ago, not even that long ago, I was able to say I'm not okay out loud to people. And people were there. You know what I mean? It wasn't a burden on other people like I thought it would be. And it wasn't that. And there were people there okay, how can I support you?
Right.
I was wait. I tossed that rope over the side, and people were there to hold it, and I was not in a great place with that. And I'm so very thankful for those people and for poetry, because I had started on that journey.
Absolutely.
More so then. And this is actually a poem, speaking of that.
I hear that, yeah.
That is very performance-y. I have two here that I could.
Sure.
I feel like this is more that like internal. Both of them are, but this one's called Disheveled.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Feeling fractured and looking the part, a face I hardly recognize through the wear and tear. Hey, your psyche's showing. Bruised and battered by my own design, unable to come to terms with the wrinkles in time that moved to my face with each passing realization. Oh, what a way to go, a path so rocky it can hardly be traveled without despair as a guide. All the feelings, all at once, fighting to see the light of day. And before I know it, I'm here again, finding myself at an open door, hesitant to enter or exit or close it. Which direction am I going? Which door is it? I end up walking through an exit, or maybe it's an entrance, or are they just one and the same? Fractured. My thoughts increase as anxiety quickens and tension thickens with each breath, not willing to jump all in, but unhappy with where I am. Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Undecided and silently tormented, I sigh and slowly take a seat.
Can I? Can I?
Thank you.
This is the power of poetry.
This is
when you can take all of your words, your feelings, your emotions, and pack them into these sentences that make sense.
Yeah. In New York, stand clear of the closing doors.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
And as I was writing it, I didn't realize it because it felt so big.
Yeah.
And then like that ending, stand clear of the closing doors, please. Undecided and silently tormented, I sigh and slowly take a seat. Yeah. Like all of this just happened in the moment from the time I left the platform.
Absolutely. Right.
You know, and sometimes that's what we do.
And it's all in that personal space. Sometimes, and you can be going through that, and everybody around you just seems so normal, and you can be going through this really surmountable process within yourself.
Yes.
Only you know about it. And so what better way to get it out than to do it through poetry?
Through poetry. Find something that processes, right? Yeah. And for us, that's that creativity, that poetry.
Yes.
You know, and we have a guest today that we'll talk more about.
Yeah, we're going to get more into that. We have a surprise guest, our very first in-studio guest. Stay tuned because you're going to be able to see our first in-studio guest. You know, this,
very exciting.
You know, and I'm claiming absolutely no copyrights on this person. The next poem I'm going to read is really, and you know, nowadays it's like, you got to be so careful of everything you say.
It's true.
But this is a very special poem. Interesting. Something that you read out of your poem. Believe it or not, made me think about this poem. And,
that's how we do.
And exactly. We just kind of bounce back and forth. Yeah. So, you know, some years ago, I just wanted some ice cream. I did.
Relatable.
So on my break, I just went to the ice cream shop because I was going to buy me some ice cream the way I wanted it.
That's right.
So I walk inside and I see this well-dressed gentleman, very nice, well-dressed older gentleman. And he and I struck up a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I like to talk all the time. Are you surprised?
No. Cindy, you? Me?
So I met this gentleman. He's a very nice older gentleman, very well dressed, very distinguished. And he and I struck up a conversation. We were talking about today's youth.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that he was bringing out was how it's so important to appreciate your place in life because life speeds up so fast. Life will speed up so fast. And if you don't appreciate where you're at in life, by the time you get wherever you're going and you turn around, you've wasted so much time. You wasted time appreciating self. Yeah. You wasted time appreciating everything around you, people around you, and all those things, you know? Well, he introduced himself to me as a regular, normal patron. Come to find out, he was Mr. Baxter on Captain Kangaroo.
I love Captain Kangaroo.
No way. Yes. Well, I'm standing in front of Mr. Baxter. This is some years ago. And I'm standing in front of Mr. Baxter, and he says, he says, my wife wanted ice cream, so I came out to get ice cream for my wife. I thought that was so adorable.
It is.
He was 92 years old at the time I met him. He inspired me so much. This is going to go back to your poem about inspiration, how we have to inspire ourselves.
Yeah.
And through that writing, through that poetry, we become we self-inspire.
Yeah. I love that, yeah.
So, make a long story short, it was a wonderful meeting him. I got back to work, and the days went off. I used to buy the paper. One day I'm at my desk, maybe 2 or 3 days later, I'm turning the paper and I get the sad news that he passed away.
Aww.
But at the same time, in that awe, I felt so inspired because I had met someone who was 92 years old who encouraged me not only to dig in self, find self, appreciate self. It's
correct.
So important. Yes. So I penned these words. It's called Mr. Baxter.
Let's hear it.
92 years, young at heart, standing online at an ice cream shop, fame and glory gone. A CBS icon, so long. Now it's just a cone of ice cream for your sweet. An interesting way to meet a celebrity in the street. No fanfare, no autographs, just words of wisdom and a jolly laugh. It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Baxter. After the curtains close, all there's left is life. The only promise is the way you've lived. Wrong or right, it all shows up in this thing called life.
Ooh,
So that
yes.
poem, thank you. That poem really it kind of mirrored yours in a way because it's like
Yeah.
when you go at the end of it all, you know what? It all shows up in this thing called life. Your
Yeah.
bad days, your good days.
That's right.
You know, so
And you gotta let the bad be bad
Yeah.
and let the good be good.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying,
Mhm.
let it have its space. It's valid.
Yes.
Those feelings are, the more we try to invalidate them, the stronger we're actually making them.
Yes.
Because they're gonna come back double time, triple time, tenfold. You know what I mean? And at some point, and it could be when you least expect it. And you know, it's just that power of validation too.
Speaking of unexpected, have
Yeah.
you ever encountered anyone that just blew you away, that they were going through a hard time and you were that person for them?
Oh, absolutely. Oh. hmm
What was your biggest inspiration to them?
Um, for me personally,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to everyone, but a lot of the people that I worked with at the school, I was kind of like that person.
You was that
know?
person.
Yeah, I was like that person to come to, and we would talk through, or like we would go through my poetry. Someone, bring it back to poetry though, someone who I knew was experiencing a hard time, but not to this level.
Right.
And we were close, but we hadn't really talked for a while
Right.
and whatever. She texted me one night. I was at a friend's house. She texted me one night and she's like, Heidi, can I call you? Something major just happened and I just need your comfort. And I was like, yeah. When she called, she said, can you just read some of your poems to me?
True story. True story.
True story.
Yeah.
And like, I love her dearly.
The
You know,
power
she's
of words.
inspired me in a lot of ways too. We went through the Teaching Fellows program together.
Wow.
And, you know, that's a hard time in itself. So we really inspired and moved each other in that way. So for her to call me that night, and we stayed on the phone for like 3 hours, and like,
And sometimes it takes that long.
Right.
It
She would
takes
be
that
like,
long.
wait, that one poem, she remembered some of them. She'd be like, hey, that poem. And then we would cry, or she would cry, and like just kind of work through some things. And then like the next poem. And then, you know, I don't even remember how many poems we read that night, but that was a moment for her, like that healing moment where she has the ability and the capacity to do that as well. But she knew where to find that comfort, those words. And, you know, I'm very grateful that I was that person.
That person, and you do. You feel so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you have a poem on that one?
I mean, we read so many. One of them was this. You have one now? Yeah.
Well, I have one that. The reason I asked that question is because sometimes you can be inadvertently that person for a person, and it knocks you off your feet because you never thought in a million years. Like, it's like me. Wow, I'm honored to be there.
I'm just saying words. I'm just writing some words down. Like, you told me these things at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one day I was talking to my sister, totally unrelated to mental health awareness or feeling down, but she and I were discussing weight loss. And so, I said to her, listen, we're going to do this. We made this really big plan. I says, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And she's like, yeah, girl, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I says, okay, well, when are we going to get started? She says, as soon as I finish that good soda I got in the refrigerator. And I bust out laughing because I'm like, but the point of the good soda is everybody has to have either that person or that thing.
Yeah.
And for her, it was that soda. And she broke it down to me. And she says, after a long day, when I come home and I drink that soda, I feel so exhilarated.
That's the relief.
I grabbed the pen.
Don't be mad at that.
I grabbed paper.
Oh, yes.
And here's the poem.
Let's hear it.
That good soda. And so this is the thing that kind of resets you when everything else is like, oh, just crazy. Today is the day I'm going to drink that good soda. I'll drink that soda till there's no more soda left. I don't feel like doing my regular routine. Nope, not today. Not today. Cooking, washing, picking, ironing, watching, helping, getting tired. Going, calling, talking, fixing, cooking, sweeping, folding, mixing. Today is my soda day. Every drip, every drop. I'll drink soda till I feel to stop. All because it's that good soda. And that soda is good to me. that good soda. So that's just like an
Yes. I
inspirational.
love it.
Find something that resets you. Problem,
Like
solution.
like we talked about last time with the stop rescheduling joy. Let our joy happen.
Right.
You know, and that good soda, why are you trying to kill that? You
If,
know,
if that's
like
your thing.
right. Like
If that's your.
that's
Mhm.
because it fits in a certain box, or because like that's the one thing that's going to make you lose all this weight that will finally make you feel valuable as a person, when you know what, like
If that's your moment.
you got your
you
value
know.
in that good soda.
And
in
to
that
all of our
moment.
healthy eaters, do
No,
not.
we good.
We are not saying to drink soda for a healthy lifestyle. We're
No.
saying
What works for you, because some people
What works
that
for you.
is
their
that, you
thing.
know.
That is their thing.
And like maybe that good soda is that treat every once in a while. And like my body needs what it needs. Like
Absolutely.
it feels like right now
Absolutely.
it needs lettuce and vegetables and steam, you know, and sometimes it just needs that that comfort, that sigh, that relief.
Right.
You know, stop rescheduling joy.
Don't reschedule joy. I like that.
Whatever,
I like that.
yeah.
Stop
It's not mine.
rescheduling joy.
Yeah, it's not mine. I saw
like
it
that.
online, you know, as it goes.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I see this book. Heidi showed me up today, everyone, because I too have
No.
journals, but I've been bad this year. I realized last minute I don't have a planner, believe it or not. I have so much stuff going on, and Cindy don't have a planner.
Everything's
What?
online though, Cindy.
But
I write all my poems online now too. This
I
is
walk around with a
pre.
journal. I try to,
Yeah.
but for some reason, 2023, I've been journal free.
Yeah.
That's a slogan right there, right? 2023, I've been
Journal free. Hey.
So Heidi's showing me up at
I'm
this
not.
moment because she has
No, there's
she's doing. So
yeah, but I have it all online too. This was just kind of because last time we talked about a poem like about you, and I said, "Oh, I do have a poem like that I wrote about me." So I was bringing it because I remembered it's in
wanna hear
here.
it, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Let's see. It's here somewhere.
Because we are the most important thing.
And it does actually fit in with this a bit. I have a couple tagged in here. It is called Me, but
Yes.
don't reschedule your joy.
No.
And so the only reason I brought it up in that way
Mhm.
is that I've had such a struggle between myself and my relationship with dieting and food.
Wow.
You know, like I
It's a
came to
struggle.
it is, and I came to a really good place with it where I'm listening to my body and like what does that mean? And I know the guidelines to live it, and I can do it. And I don't know where this poem is. It's in here. Hey,
And that whole process can knock you off too.
it is
a
right.
kaleidoscope of good day, bad day.
Yeah,
It can knock you off.
it absolutely
you have to
can.
have a plan where you're gonna still be able to maintain happiness. Because that's the key point, no matter,
And you can find happiness in new routines.
Absolutely.
And you know, the whole key, listen to your health, and not just your body health, your physical health, because that will tell you a lot, especially as we get older. But listen to your mental health also, because that affects your physical health.
It does.
In so many ways. And it's before the one about Roxana. I forgot about my daughter. Who am I?
Yes.
It's little. See, it's a scribble scrabble. Whoop. You can't
That's
see
the
it.
best
It's okay.
poetry, though.
Right?
Sometimes that's the best ones.
Right. Who am I?
Mhm.
I am many things to many people, a wondrous ambassador wearing many hats. I'm a lover, a dreamer, a mother, a schemer, a healer, a feeler, a writer, a seeker, a keeper, a student, a teacher, a delight, and a burden. The paradox quickens, yet I can't quite come to terms with my own energy. I'll make you believe in the things you can't see, and I'll always be there to feel out your needs, and you'll never quite know the me that I am or the hat that I have on underneath. And
you'll never quite know.
You'll never quite know.
No.
You'll know, as I share a lot. I might be an oversharer. I don't know. Some people might say that. But it brings me joy too, because there was a point where I wouldn't share anything because I was afraid of how people would perceive me. Like it would change their perception. And I've learned so much how to be myself without that perception of others. So this book I started in 2017. So I probably wrote that about then 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've, gone through at least 3 different lifetimes since then. But it is definitely that moment.
I'm still meeting Cindy.
Hi.
Yeah.
Cindy, yeah.
I'm still meeting her. I realized that some years ago. I'm like, just because we're here does not necessarily mean we know. I surprise myself every day. Honestly, I do.
Yes.
There's always something new about Cindy, something that's ever changing about Cindy. I kind of like her. can't get out with her like us,
That's
and
great.
yeah, and that's the whole thing, self is the most important. I
Yes.
think that when we spread ourselves too thin, and I don't know, I'm not an oversharer. I don't think I'm an oversharer. I like to talk.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if I'm quite an oversharer, but
Where's the line on that?
I don't know.
It depends on who you are on the other
Yeah, yeah,
side.
yeah.
Because I don't mind sharing, like, if it's going to pass on and be information that will help. Like, my friend called me and said, "Can you read this poem to me? Can you tell me about
Right.
these
That was
things?"
nice.
Like,
That was nice.
maybe there are those moments where I feel like I'm oversharing, but I'm not. Maybe I'm giving just the right
You
information
might be
to
giving
just
just the
the
right
right person.
information.
You just
By the
never
way, your lip
know.
wear is gorgeous.
Oh my
Just
God,
had to say
thank
it. I was looking
you.
at her and I'm like, it's gorgeous. I was
Cindy.
going through something. Who doesn't? I was going through something one day, and
Yeah.
this poem came to my mind as I was going through what I
Yeah.
was going through. And the name of the poem is "I Can't Get Mad
Ooh.
at You If You Don't Know."
Because you'll never know what other hat
So I
someone's
was going
wearing.
through it that
Yeah.
day, and people were passing by me and everything
Mhm.
of that nature. And I'm like, I was grumpy, stumpy, and angry, you name it. But I was still
Yeah.
smiling, and everything inside of me was going in different directions. And I stopped and I said, I can't get mad if they don't know.
Right.
And I wrote this one. I can't get mad at you if you don't know that I feel down, sad, and rejected. Inside, my smile is crooked and bear the weight of life. I'm sorry, let's just start that over again.
Let's do that again.
I can't get mad at you if you don't know that I feel low, down, sad, and rejected. Inside, my smile is crooked, and to bear the weight of life is burdensome. My mind wonders, but you don't know, and I cannot get mad at you. I can't blame you for not helping. It's my maze, my battle, and I just have to work myself through it. The most important thing is I cannot get mad at you if you don't know. And that
Yes.
poem means so much in mental health awareness
Yeah.
because I'm gonna tell you something. In as much as I'm not a professional, I cannot speak professionally on that level or platform, and nor
Mhm.
will I try. But
Correct.
there's so many people that's going through it right before our eyes,
Yeah.
and we don't know, so we have to be excused because we don't know. And if we did, we would help. And
Right.
then they have to understand they cannot get mad if we don't know.
But also, we're not here to help everyone.
No, you can't.
Like,
Right?
and we can't
Absolutely.
take on
Right?
someone
No.
else's
No.
and until they're ready to find that
No.
space. And you know what? We may not have the help that they need. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
That's a good
I
point.
may only be able to support you by just giving you a space to share.
That's a good
I
point.
might not have info for you to like move through it.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like as much as I pretend and feel like sometimes I don't actually know everything. Guys, I don't actually know
She
everything.
doesn't know everything, and neither do I.
Yeah.
So we are the we don't know everything.
We are the we don't know everythings. Although sometimes I will tell you I do know everything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
situational.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but definitely like you can't, and that's growth too. Two things can be
I
true at
like
the
that.
same
That's
time.
growth.
That's
And it is
growth.
growth. It is growth.
And understanding like I can be grumpy, stumpy, and like angry, but I can also have a smile. And like just because I'm smiling doesn't mean I'm not feeling.
Right.
And but I can be present in this moment in a different way than I'm present in all of those thoughts, you know? And that brings me to I mean, oh gosh, so many. I was thinking of reading The Madness next.
Okay, let's hear the
which I did
madness.
read to you
Let's hear
at
the
one of our
madness. Let's hear the
things.
madness.
So this is called The Madness. Oh, I mean, maybe. Yeah. And still she says, I love you. With a new kind of seriousness and sadness, hoping to bring back the spark of joy and the feelings of a mutual timeline. But she just can't shake the sadness, the overwhelming sense of sadness, like a whirlwind of emotions, not gladness or radness, but sadness and madness, not anger, but madness and madness and madness and madness and madness and madness, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That is the madness. But when will it end? Come or high water, she feels like she's clinging to a moment that's past, hoping that it comes again, the madness, feeling hope in the madness, lost in the madness, knowing when to release the parachute, but still holding on to the free fall for just a moment longer. Just a split second, hoping to see a view that the safety hatch can't afford her. The madness envelops her and gives her hope, a glimmer, a sliver of light as she contemplates life on the other side, yet she waits patiently. She waits in the madness.
Wow, you did read that one. You did. Thanks
Yeah.
for reading it again.
Yeah.
And bring it back again too. I like the madness and the madness and the madness.
And the madness. Yeah. 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 I don't think I shared that last time, but I
Yeah,
shared that
you
with
did. I
you.
remember. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember when you
Oh,
started going into it. I
I don't
remember
remember
it.
those
I
things.
do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah. And
I
the
do.
madness.
Yeah.
And that all comes out of then I'll share something a little fresh called Tragic Soul / Numb. I'm so tired. Oh, there is a curse, so pardon me. There's just one. And I can
No,
actually
we have
I
young
can
viewers.
censor it out. Okay.
Censor out the curses.
Okay.
That's for our
Tragic
teenagers.
Soul. Yeah, got you. Numb. I'm so tired. Just so very tired of being a tragic soul, lost in a sea of my own tears, drowning in my thoughts. I'm tired. I'm tired of being so tragic, a wandering soul looking for something different, numb, but not tingly, not the in between where there is still feeling, just flat and devoid of anything. Empty, but not waiting to be filled, not the space between, just void of appropriate emotions. Lacking, but not searching, not thinking of what's better, just living without, lost in the moment. Pressured, but not caring, not trying to perform, just letting it bang on the walls of my mind. Cracking, but not crazy, not dying to escape, just feeling the edges fray. Leaping, but not moving, not looking for an exit, just watching as it falls apart. Screaming, but not shouting, not opening up wide, just waiting for someone to hear. And all at once, the noise quiets, and it all becomes numb again.
Again, wow.
Again. Oh, thank you.
This is the
Thank
official
you.
applause for
The
poetry.
official.
Yes.
The snaps.
These poems, they're talking about a particular topic,
Yeah.
but they take you into a place of,
Yeah.
again, saying how much poetry is important toward
Mhm.
healing. If there's a poet out there, I don't think there's a poet I've met that don't touch on,
Yes.
that
That falling apart.
Yeah. I don't think
Those
I've met
moments.
so many poets, and I don't think I've met one that does not touch on this. And speaking about poets, we're about to bring on our first guest.
Yes.
But before we do that, I just want to ask, just switching gears, just in so much respect to this month being reserved for mental health awareness,
Yes, please.
but just switching gears, I just have two questions. Do you have a particular piece? I'm trying to think of what piece I have. I'm sure I do. That is extremely humorous, that probably can bring someone and make them just laugh.
I do. And it is also like, I don't know if I read it last. It's the Elephant in the Room one. It's very short.
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me hear
Okay.
it. I'm gonna look for. I know I
That
have
one is-
something that has to be.
So as much as I have all of this, like these falling apart poems, right?
Okay.
These are the way that I've processed and
Right.
managed that falling apart. It's my safe space. It gives it words, so it
Understandable.
takes away
Understandable.
that power
Understandable.
from me, literally, physically falling apart into a place that we would be without Heidi. And, sometimes we think about that, not seriously. So, Elephant in the Room is this poem that does touch on that. It's really short, really funny. Not really funny, but it's serious, but it's also like just gives it that extra little bit. So, Elephant in the Room. Crying on the floor, breaking is believing. It's just another breakdown, an emotional shakedown, another step on this journey. No big deal. A path to the next phase built off of my own craze and shallow indiscretions, wearing my feelings like an elephant in the room with a tutu and a party hat. Unavoidable.
Oh, that was it. That's cute. I love the tutu and the party hat.
Yep. My elephant in the room always has a tutu and a party hat. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it. Just by way of inspiration, I like that. The tutu and the party hat. I like that.
So if we're gonna have it, we gotta dress it up.
You
a
have
bit.
to
Make
dress
it
up.
our own.
You have to have fun with
right?
it. I wrote this poem and it's gonna explain itself.
Okay.
And you always have to, like you said, you always have to
Yes.
find a fun place and everything. And if you can,
Yeah.
I strongly encourage it. Find a fun place.
Fine. Whatever that fun means for you. For
Whatever,
me, it's
right.
that silliness.
Right.
And like My Elephant has a poem.
And with me, it's just being realistic. And
Yeah.
that's you know what, I rushed to the solution.
Yes.
You're gonna see that a lot about
All
me.
right,
I rushed
yeah.
the solution. I rushed home to write this poem, put some words on wax. I spent all day figuring out some facts of life, realizing it's not about trouble and strife. It's about realizing and recognizing and coming full circle with the problem. Is it a you, me, we, they, she, he problem? Or is it a problem at all? It's just something called life. Wrap it up in a poem, come home and drop it on wax. Shuffle out all the facts and smile, sleep, wake, and do it all over again. It's just this thing called life. We, she, he, them, we cannot figure it out. Day by day by day, it all works itself out. I rushed home to write this poem about this thing called life.
Yes.
Yeah. Woo! I tell you, poetry is really something, right?
Yeah.
I'm having
How
fun.
you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I really am. When you think about how
it's so good to
poetry,
share.
yeah, it is. And you think about when you really think about how poetry just sort of comes in here. So we're gonna take this moment, and we're gonna put our hands together. We're gonna welcome our first guest.
Our first guest,
and that's with an S because it's not just one guest; it's two guests. And I'm gonna give a little backstory about the guests.
Please.
That, like I said, I have been truly honored to meet so many poets throughout my poetic life. And one night I actually met I don't want to give it away yet.
You,
right?
I
met one half of our guests.
Okay, you met one of our guests. Got it.
That completely blew me away. I mean, I was really blown away. And I was actually hosting an open mic, and I would meet so many people on a weekly basis, And this person came up and they said a poem, and I was like, whoa, that was really good. I mean, the talent was immense to that with me. And so the next week, they came back and they brought along their family member. I'm not trying to give away nothing yet. And then I got blown away again. And then you would think it was a 2-for-1 special. No, it was a 3-for-1 special because the next week they came back again, and I was
we just multiplied.
Community. This entire,
I love it.
I'm going to give it away now. This entire family, yes, it is a family, ladies and gentlemen. We are so proud to welcome our very first in-house guest to Coffee and Conversations with a Twist.
Yes.
Cindy and Heidi presents.
Yes.
The Dunningtons. And we are here today with Lydia and Daryl. Thank you both so much for coming.
Hello.
Thank you for having
We
us.
are honored to have them both here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here. You guys don't know, it honestly means so much to me. Heidi, this is your first time meeting them. And I want my audience to meet them, our audience to meet them.
Yeah.
And they're going to share some poetry with us. We're going to ask them some questions. And please feel free at any point to let our viewers know how they can find you, how they can get your work. Or
let's start with that, actually.
Yeah. So we're going to start with Lydia.
Where are you out in the world?
Yeah.
Where I am in the world is...
Wait, that's a very broad question. Give us whatever you got.
Sitting next to this wonderful lady that I just met and my good friend Cindy, who I have known for maybe 3 or 4 years now.
It's been a lifetime.
Yeah. It feels like I've known you forever.
Yes.
And I have a new sis here.
Yes. Hi.
But where I am in the world as far as poetry is concerned is really just now starting a real journey with it, I'll say. I've been writing since I was little and probably wrote my first poetry maybe 5th or 6th grade or so, but have done all different types of writing. So I have lots of journals. I don't have anything published. I have lots of things on my computer and lots of things on my phone.
Okay.
So we are into what I call Lydia 2.0, and we're going to see where this thing goes.
I love it. I like the 2.0.
I do too. Yeah.
I really do. I have something else I have something of my own that's coming up that has a 2.0 to it. For some reason, I like the 2.0.
I'm like 12.0.
Wow.
Maybe 23. I don't know. Whatever.
Question for Lydia. In terms of poetry, because, as artists, we're so picky. We're so funny. What is the one part about poetry that you hold the most to your heart? Is it what inspires you? What is it about the poetic part of you that is the most dearest to your heart?
I think for me, it's probably the surprise of it all.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I write prose also, I write a lot of essays, but when the poetry comes, it kind of comes as a download. There have been times that I've gotten a title and I thought it was going to be prose. And then all of a sudden I'm in the shower and I can't get out fast enough to either get to my phone, not break my neck, and get to my tablet and try to write it down. So the surprising element of how quickly it comes down, and I'll read it and I say, well, are we done? Maybe we're done. I think I'm done. I put it aside and then I'm not done, and it comes again, and maybe it's the second stanza, or it's in the middle, or it's the end. So it's very surprising to me.
I do too.
I never thought about that.
And it's a download. I love that you
I like
said it's
that.
like a down. It's like a quick, sudden download.
Because when it hits you, it's like that's the same
Like
for
you
myself.
said, I rush home.
I have to hurry up and put it down on something. Yeah. What type of poet would you describe yourself as?
Ooh, now that's a good question.
Do you always have to be rhythmic?
Oh, no.
Your poems have to be long?
No,
I
I have long poems. I have short poems. Nothing is rhythmic necessarily. Some rhyming sometimes, but just a lot of thoughts and a lot of repetition. I will say, I use repetition a lot, and maybe it's because I'm a little slow on the uptake sometimes.
I like that too.
It's so powerful.
I like that.
But I find myself repeating things a lot. Nice little at the top and at the bottom. A bow on it is, probably could be psychoanalyzed about that also. But
and that's what makes us unique. And I found that every poet, it's unique. You'll hear their poetry, and even with myself, I'll tell you guys this really, really quick because this is about Lydia right now. But I let someone hear my poetry one time, and then one day they would say, "Oh, I wrote a poem." You didn't write that. It was mine. Yeah. Yeah, look out for that happening. It can happen. But it's a certain style that we all have.
So, in a certain way.
So the way you write, the way you're describing yourself, you know that. There's no one can fool you on your work because you know how you write. I can't write that way because that's your style of writing. You're going to automatically know.
Yeah. And I do want to hop in on.
Please do.
On Lydia.
You can't hop in without an introduction.
Right.
So this is who I was talking about. We're going to put our hands together again. This is Daryl Dunnington. This is 38 years. I have to say 38 years of marriage and togetherness. And it shows on them. They are so merged together. I love this couple. Wish them so many, many, many more years of success together. But Daryl's who came in first. He dropped that poem on me. I thought it was over. He came back. He brought Lydia and she hit me. Then they came back and they brought their son. Bam, he hit me. If he walked through the door right now, I'm just going to die.
He's at work today.
Send him my regards, please. I'm sorry, Daryl. Please, go ahead.
Wonderful. Yeah. So what I wanted to add, though, when I think of Lydia, because I've encouraged her to write her poetry because she's excellent at what she's doing and what she's done. But the word raw, and she knows what that is, so I'll let her explain.
It's actually rut. So at one point, I had blog that I had entitled The Rut, and that was just stood for raw, unbridled truth.
Okay.
So I kind of go in sometimes.
Is that still out there on the internet? Is the rut still?
I think I took it all down.
You took it down?
I think I took it all down. Yeah.
Okay.
So we may have a rut 2.0.
Hey, we have a 2.0.
Some raw, unfiltered talent. Like that could actually be
Absolutely.
a literary magazine or something too. Like a quick publication.
That would be nice.
You know,
the ideas are endless.
An open mic.
The
like,
ideas are endless.
I can see that in so many ways. Like just being, like you said, so surprising in that download. And I can't wait to hear some of your work, both of you.
I know you guys are going to say. After accident, I'm going to ask Daryl some of the same questions I asked.
Yes.
Please jump in. In your bio, we see that you raised your children. That's something that a lot of parents right now are going through, raising children, especially in this different type of world. When I was raising my children, I didn't have the internet. So the World Wide Web, I was able to raise them without the World Wide Web. Now,
and mine were connected from the time they were born
from the time they
in
were
the
born.
early 2000s.
See, you see there's a difference in raising.
Or they were growing with the internet actually because it was
That's
just
ours.
starting.
It was an evolution.
Right,
Exactly.
It was.
And it created this evolution of kids, which goes, that's a whole nother episode for sure, but yeah.
I was going to ask, most of the time, and I'm just loosely saying this with poets, we usually handwrite our poetry out, right? But nowadays, if you notice, kids are not handwriting anymore. Most kids are on the computer. From a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a very strong opinion about it, how do you feel about that being a staple still in the elementary schools and schools, period, with children being able to sit down and write out their thoughts and their feelings?
For me,
how do you feel about keeping it as a staple?
It has to be there. You always have to have something tangible for all of the electronic intangible. You just need it. And I think for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, there's just something grounding with touching the pen and touching the paper, and it just seems to flow better. Also, my mother always said I have little nervous fingers, so typing is for me.
And I find that the shortcuts with the LOLs and all the shortcuts, I think that takes away, I don't know, please don't leave me out here by myself.
You're fine.
Agree. But I just think that takes away from the taste of literary arts when you can write it down and you can remember it. I don't know.
That's an interesting take. And I'd say I'm probably on the other side because
but he can type
because I am a technologist, right?
Right.
And so I can really type, and my writing is sometimes I write, I can't even read what I write.
Yes.
Right. So if I can get on the computer, now my thoughts are free, and I can quickly get those.
Thank you for defending it from that angle.
And that's actually the side. Yeah, I'm sorry. To cut you off.
No.
And that's the side I am, being a special ed teacher,
right?
Or just a teacher in general. A lot of my students struggle with getting things onto paper. There is an actual code switching that happens. So, and especially growing up in this technological age, sometimes that tactile is the sound of the buttons, or sometimes their thoughts flow more, or sometimes they can just say it, use that speech to the text, which I even have started doing, especially those shower thoughts.
I never thought about that.
Right. And a lot of that, while there's that tactile piece, that becomes tangible when it gets onto some document online, or even a text message, or even, when I taught Shakespeare to 8th graders, we use this amazing version side by side with original text of Shakespeare done in text messages. Wow. Shakespeare is completely intangible for middle schoolers these days, and especially those with higher processing delays and things. So those text messages, so good.
Okay.
It was so interesting, and
it's good to look at it from different angles. Because what you guys are bringing to the table, I never even.
And our middle son, the one that you did meet, he struggled with dyslexia, dysgraphia, and so I can see, we homeschooled, so there were a lot of tears and, just him trying to learn the mechanics.
Right.
That being said, I think you should still know the mechanics, even if it's not the best avenue for you.
But know what works for you.
Yes, know what works for you.
I like that because I like what Daryl mentioned too.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, I'm still adapting to this new world. With myself, I'm because I can grab a pen and I could just kind of just go with the pen. I have tons of poetry on my phone and other devices and things of that nature. But I just feel that our young people today, I can't speak so firmly about it, but I think that it should still be in the schools where writing, because they're going really well away from writing. Excuse me. They're going so far away from writing. I just think that literary arts in school, it should still kind of keep that. So I want to ask Daryl, talk to us about you as a poet.
Yes,
sure. So when I think about my poetry, because as a professional, I do something totally different with computers all the time, but it takes me back to my youth. I grew up in the country in Texas, on 24 beautiful acres in East Texas. So shout out to those people in East Texas.
Shout out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it takes me back to the place on the weekends. It would be behind the house. There's a stream. The sun is shining.
Right.
The wind is blowing. And just that calmness.
Yeah.
I
right?
thought that was a poem. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He had me there for a
already
minute.
started.
He had me. I was like, really, I was being drawn in.
I know.
Now you see how he got me right.
He's such a
He
storyteller.
used to write
I was
me
like,
poetry.
Yeah, keep going.
He's such a storyteller.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah. And so in the midst of the chaos,
Yeah.
you know, I think the intermediate step for me, my wife and I, we've been married for 38 years. I said, I need to get into my box.
Yeah.
Right. And so that box for me was that abstraction of taking me back to that calmness to where I can get all of the noises out, all of the voices out, that I can center myself again. Right. And so poetry has been intermittent for me. You know, when crisis may come or when tension may come, then I want to get in that box. Right. And that box takes me back to that sun shining by that little stream and the water trickling, right?
Yes.
And me being able to sit in the grass
Absolutely.
and feel the calmness.
Wow.
And so that's what poetry is for me. Poetry is that calmness.
It's
Now
that
that
connection.
Because Heidi hasn't heard you. She have not.
have not.
She has not heard your poems yet. But I want to ask you, when do either one of you guys remember that moment where you looked at each other and says, "You're a poet. You are too. We're poets." Was there ever a moment was it like a clashing of symbols that you guys realized we're onto something here?
At open mic night.
No way.
that night.
No way.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he would write me poems when we were dating.
Wow.
You know, I've written poems over the years, but I don't think we ever really considered ourselves poets because, you know, he got up there and he was like, well, I was like, well, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it.
No way. Oh, man. Daryl,
I
both
love
of you
it.
guys
Absolutely.
are. You know, when I describe Lydia to my friends and
Yes.
family, they know her through her poem because
Yeah.
the poem she said that night blew me away so much. This is how I described her.
you have
So I go,
it?
well, you know. It
Are
was
we going to hear that?
beautiful.
Or do you have that poem?
No, and that's
Okay.
it's
But they're
like
gonna come
one of a
back.
real
They-
long
like a
piece
prose,
of prose.
okay.
Yeah.
But they're
Can
gonna-
we
they're gonna
can we
come
put
back.
a link
They
to
have
it?
to
But
come
can we put a
back.
link to it somewhere? Fine. We'll get
Again,
around.
all of my stuff is in my tablets on my computers.
We'll
We're
get
working
around
on
to
2.0.
it, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
to come.
Yes.
To
Yes.
come quickly.
I also feel like, sorry, quick digression. Cindy, I feel like we can build a resource for this, you know,
Yeah,
and like a place where we
absolutely.
can find our poems, other people's poems,
that'd
things
be
like
awesome.
that we like a featured situation. And I would be honored if you would be like our first kind of poems on that platform.
Oh, wow.
I'll work on that
We
in the
would
next
be honored.
month. Yeah.
Well, Lydia has been inducted. I don't know if you wanted to introduce it today.
Yes.
She's been inducted on 2 things with us. Lydia and I was
know.
talking. I don't know if she wants to introduce it today.
Mhm.
But Lydia and I was talking. And
We won't spill
want-
any beans if
we
you're not
have
ready.
to. We have to.
Are you ready to spill some
I don't know if
beans?
we're.
I was encouraging her.
They're working on some
I
beans.
think we should.
I think we should say it
Daryl.
today.
That'll
I-
push them
I-
over the
Yeah, let's
cliff.
push on.
I was saying to Lydia when her and I was talking, I
Yeah.
said, you know what I think? I can really see Coffee and Conversations being in Texas. I knew Heidi would love it. I knew
Of
it.
course
I knew
I
it.
do.
And I just think because there's
Yeah.
nothing for us to jump on a flight and fly out there and be your
Yeah.
guest. You know,
It's-
check us out, right?
yeah,
We're flying out there.
Are
So
y'all
I'm
ready
hoping-
for some
Oh!
pecan flavored coffee?
Oh, yes.
We are ready. So that's something. And then also,
That's
bringing all these-
visionary.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
Absolutely.
I think it is. And I think you guys will be the perfect plus to doing something like that. You know, I really do. I think
Yeah.
I'm already calling it off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Let's
wonderful.
manifest that. Put it out
Absolutely.
there.
Let's
Put it
let's
out
make it
there.
happen.
Let's get the booking our
Let's-
flight. So
I'm about to write it down right now.
me and Heidi's gonna sit back right now. We're gonna
Yeah.
relax, and you guys, can you give us some poetry? Either one
Sure.
can go first, and
Sure.
if you
Actually,
can tell us why you chose that poem,
yeah.
give us a little backstory on the poem, and then give us the poem, and
Yeah, so actually I'll go first, and the reason I'll go first is, you know, when you have the main star, they have somebody come warm the audience up. So I'm the warm up, right? I'm
wants
the
a
warm
date
up
tonight.
for her.
Well, you're in New York.
you're in New York.
Right,
Okay,
right.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Right.
Get
And-
that date,
Yeah,
Daryl.
and so this comes from, again, I go back to my roots, Athens, East Texas, but I grew up on my dad's land.
Okay.
And I say that because he was such a powerful figure. Very humble man, but very powerful. And what he would do and what he would say and things that he would do. And so that had a impression upon me. it had an imprint upon me with how he would deal with people and how he would touch people. And so this is what this is about. This is on people, not things.
Oh, I like that.
On people, not
to.
things.
Not things.
Ready.
And it says,
Popcorn.
create an imprint, not a scar. Children are woodwork. We nurture, we love, we care for. Create an imprint, not a scar. Your mate, your friend, your lover. Spend time and discover. Know them immediately as they are. Create an imprint, not a scar. The world needs love, not hate. Hope, not despair. Life-giving, not killing. Vision, understanding to relate. Why wait? Don't hesitate. Create an imprint, not a scar. Etch beauty, not pain. Carve delicately, with purpose, with aim. Create an imprint.
That is
Oh
Mr.
my
Daryl
God,
Dunnington.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Woo! And now you guys see why they are our very first in-person
Yes,
guests at
absolutely.
Coffee and Conversations with a Twist.
I love that
Wow.
idea. Create an imprint, not
Yes.
a scar.
Yeah.
And
Thank
not
you for
just,
sharing that.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Right. And
not
so
just
I
on
can
your children, but on everyone that
Yeah.
you encounter in
Right.
life. Yeah.
On everyone
Right.
you encounter. So
Yeah.
important. Wow.
Right. And so I can see that directly relating to mental health.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because we have our tools in our hands.
Yes.
Yes.
That whether it's our children or our friends
Absolutely.
Yep.
or our constituents,
Yeah.
what are we carving?
Yes.
Are we taking our tool and are we carving a scar?
Yeah.
Or are we the carver of an imprint?
How about that?
Are we giving them the space to make their own?
That was
And
awesome.
you know,
Absolutely.
and that safe space, falling apart in that safe space
Mhm.
in a way
That
that's
was
like
awesome.
that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Thank you.
And you know what? That's interesting because
Yeah.
we did homeschool, and so we have
Right.
good relationships with our children. At least we think so. You would have to ask them.
Yeah.
I told them, this is all new for me also.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I have done something, so funny. I said, let's talk about it
Wow.
over Starbucks. Don't drag me on a talk show and put all of our business in the street. But let's
We
just
have
go.
to say that to our kids. Listen, don't take me on no
do.
talk show.
Yeah, let's
we
talk
can sit
about
down
it.
and talk
Let's
this
talk
out.
about it.
Yeah.
So, haven't
so
had a
nice.
coffee date yet, so I guess I was good.
So far, it was good. So
Yeah,
far.
yeah, that's good.
Wow.
So one rule that we had
Yeah.
was give family members an opportunity and space to fail.
Yes.
Don't just pounce on them because
That's right.
it didn't turn out the way you wanted it or the way you expected it. Give them opportunity. Give them space to fail. And then when they fail,
Yeah.
help them get up.
I read
Help them
something
with that
like that
process.
this morning, but you
That's
pinned
beautiful.
it so nice.
Because it's not about you.
No.
It's about
Correct.
them,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and we have the tools that we've been through, and we just want to help and like okay, like I don't want you to do, but take a deep breath, step back,
Right.
Wow.
leave space for them to fall apart,
Mhm.
but know that there's a safety net there, and know that we have, you have safety to do this. Not everyone is able to experience life in that way.
Correct.
And not everyone has the resources for that. And, I'm very thankful. Sometimes I just want to be out in the world as just like this walking safe space.
Mhm.
And I know the times where I can't be that, and like I might close myself off, but anyone that comes in my pathway, I want you to feel welcome and safe.
I
Like,
love that.
like,
I'm the same way. I am.
yeah.
And that's how I felt
I-
when I met the Dunningtons.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
do
I know
too,
the
yeah.
audience is like, oh, they are so cool.
You guys are amazing. Like, I love that idea. And,
Yeah. I have so many
moving
more
in.
questions for you guys. So I know you guys are going to come back before we even close out this part of the segment.
We-
But
well, we
Lydia,
need
we
to
have
hear
to hear you.
Lydia's.
There's no way we
Yes.
cannot hear you. We need to hear it.
So we're talking about falling apart, and this nation keeps experiencing things that cause us to fall
Yeah.
apart. And I don't know how many mass shootings we've had, but there was one that just, you at some point you're not numb, but
Yeah.
it's just like again,
Yeah.
again.
It's normal.
And so with this latest one, it just hit me differently this time. And I was just like,
And it was near you, yeah? It was in Texas.
Again,
I have a friend that lives
I've been
there
to that
too.
mall.
Yeah.
And so from that comes again. And we're gonna get the cheaters so we can see.
So everyone, before we do that, everyone take a deep breath in through your nose, out through
And
your
our
mouth.
condolences to
Get
all
ready.
the families and everyone affected by that as well.
Yeah.
This is again. My soul is weary. My mind is numb. My heart's in pain. It has happened again. This time it was a mall. The time before that, a clinic. The time before that, a school. Again. The time before that, a military base. The time before that, a college. Again. The time before that, a theater. The time before that, a church. Again. The time before that, a Walmart. The time before that, a high school. Again. The time before that, so many times before that, again and again and again and again. I'm tired of again. So tired of again. Families grieving again. Pointless debates again. Searching for manifestos and bombs again. Nonstop news coverage again. Candlelight vigils again. Thoughts and prayers again. Protests and anger again. Political impasse again. Why can't we put an end to again? Will we ever put an end to again? Or will we live forever in again, again, and again, and again, and again? No real answers again. No sign of progress again. No meaningful action again. No hope of unity again. My soul is weary. My mind is numb. My heart's in pain. Lord, it's happened again.
What do you do with that?
Yeah. That's what you do with that. You put it into words. You give it its space.
It just got me this time.
Yeah.
I was like, again? Really?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Again.
I've been there. There's been news coverage that I've heard myself, and it's for some reason, it puts you someplace where you're experiencing it, but you're experiencing it different. For some reason, you hear one, you hear so many of them, like you said, again. But then there's this one that will hit you, and it just sort of captivates you.
For me, it was Uvalde
Yeah.
last year, and that's actually one of the big reasons I left teaching. I don't feel like that will ever be a situation in a New York City school. That's another episode.
Right.
But it hit me in a way that was more than again. It was again and then, and then, and it's so impactful.
It's very impactful.
And it's so important to be able to have the space to put it down and share.
And we have got to find a place to process all of this
Yeah.
because it does keep
lot.
happening.
It is a lot.
Again.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people don't realize maybe that there is trauma around just watching the news.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to. You have to put a diet on the news.
Yeah.
You can't. Too much of it. It's too much of it. Seriously, you have to. You
diet
have to,
on the news.
because if you do not, I'm good at that.
Stop rescheduling joy.
Stop rescheduling
That
joy.
also means stop putting yourself into those spaces where it's affecting your joy.
Lydia, that was beyond.
Yeah.
You guys are great poets.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask this question. Where can our viewers find anything on you guys? Are you going to be online?
On our website?
Yeah, well, yeah. We're
on our
find
YouTube.
it. But are you guys going to write a book?
Website.
Is there anything other than something that you should look forward to?
Tell us about
I'm currently doing something I call my says, like essays, but my says. And so I've done the first installment at home in Texas. I'm doing my SIGs NYC
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Thursday, May
Yeah.
25th
Okay.
at Williamsburg Music Center. So
That's next week.
please come.
No, that's not
It's
next
week
week.
after next.
The week after
Yes,
next.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. From 7 to 9. So please.
We'll put the info.
Yeah, I'll be there. I hope you'll be there.
This
you
will air
guys
probably
be-
after that.
Will you guys be recording?
It will be
be a live-
recorded
Okay,
and
it'll
live
be
streamed.
recorded.
And live
And-
streamed.
and live
Where?
streamed.
If we can figure this
live
out.
streamed on
It's probably going to
YouTube?
be on
YouTube or
Facebook.
Facebook.
Or
Okay.
maybe
Facebook
both.
Live.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Facebook
So
Live.
in
Okay.
the process of figuring out all of the technical details.
So that being said, do you have a Facebook page that's just for my says or for your poetry?
I do not
I
yet.
think
You're
that's-
pushing me into
Yeah,
all the
I feel like
things.
that's the move, right?
So that
Seems
when
like
you
I need to
live
hire you.
stream- Listen, I'm just
She's
a
throwing out all these
teacher.
good ideas.
Yeah.
I'm
right?
just a teacher trying to find
Well,
my
let
place
me-
in the world.
Let me say this. You
Absolutely.
guys are phenomenal. So I can see
Yes.
why Heidi's coming up with
Thank
so
you.
many ideas. And we want to thank
Yeah.
you guys for coming on to
Thank
Coffee and
you.
Conversations with Twist.
It's
We
so
will be following
fantastic.
you. You know, we're always in contact. And now
Yes.
this is how we do. We link. And now Heidi's
Yeah.
in contact as well. Please
Yes.
keep up all the
Thank
poetry
you,
because
thank you.
your poetry, I'm telling you, not only does it touch me, I know my audience is good. And we got some great feedback from the last episode.
Yes.
So I can imagine with this episode, we're going to get great feedback as well. So any feedback, anybody want to know how to get in touch with them and want to know what they're
Yes.
doing, please let us know, myself or Heidi,
Please,
and we'll
yeah.
reach out to them. And we wish you guys safe travels back to Texas.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the 25th.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely. We'll
We're
see you on the
not,
25th.
yeah, we're not
So-
missing that.
No,
Yeah.
not at
Wait, it's
all.
on a Thursday?
Yes.
So we won't miss it in one way or another, but I am now a trivia host on Thursday night. So like I will be working that night, but
Right.
we're gonna make it work.
Okay.
We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
We might even be live streaming while I'm there.
Oh, wow. That
You
would
know
be
what
nice
I mean?
too.
Because
That'd
like
be nice.
there is a huge connection between those sides of me, you know, like the
Okay.
poetry and the hosting,
Right.
which is such a natural place for me to sit in right now.
All those hats.
All those hats, right? You never know which one or which 2 or 5 or 10 are happening all at the same time, you know. And thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining
and let me
us.
tell you, and I look
Heidi and
forward
From
to
Texas,
oh,
yeah.
you are so welcome. I look forward to coming to Texas, so I hope you guys
Same,
invite
yeah.
us because I look forward to being here, and I'm gonna be at your show.
Absolutely.
So we thank you so much, and I
Yeah.
think we want to close out now. We want to say thank you to our audience. Did you have a closing poem that you had?
Oh,
that you wanted to
gosh.
say?
I had 3.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear
It's
it.
time. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have kind of like inspired by both Daryl and Lydia. One very short, thinking about that connection back to nature, right? And going through things, the river always grounds me.
Mhm.
And I have this poem that I didn't even write anywhere except for this post on Instagram where the river asks for my presence. It called me by my name. It sought to clear my mind and bring it peace, to smooth the ripples with clarity and soothe the soul with anxious mind left in the fold. That's it.
That's it. Wow. Wow. And it's always those little ones that's
Yes.
short.
Yeah.
And they catch you, you go, oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Right? Right. It definitely was a very, in that moment, like I needed the river. It was a tough, you know, moment for me. And it was a milestone. And so many people reached out to me that day talking about that community and that network and everything. So many people and reached out were like, hey, Heidi,
Oh, wow.
are you okay?
Wow.
Is the river calling you by name?
Right.
And I'm like, it's just a poem, guys.
It's just a poem.
And yes, it
Oh,
did,
I've had that
but
moment
like,
too, where you write poetry, people be like, "Are you okay?" I'm so fine. It was just a poem.
yeah.
It was just a poem.
It needed to be there, otherwise it
Yeah.
wouldn't have, you know. The other one I wanted to read was Swish. You know the Swish.
You know what?
Yeah, tell me.
I want to hold Swish. One of my favorites. Can I be?
Yeah,
selfish?
we can totally
Can we
hold
be
it.
selfish? Because I happen to love that one. I want to
Okay.
hear that in its totality.
That's fine,
We're
and
running out of
we'll have a whole thing
time.
with that. But I do want to end
Yes.
it on one called Broken.
Sure.
Because it is kind of that. It's actually called Not Broken. Do you have something you want to add into
No,
this
I'm
to
so
finish
into
us
what
up?
you guys brought. It's like
I-
I'm just putting all types
I'm
of
so
cherries on
happy.
this cake and
Yeah.
icing, and this was
We're-
an excellent episode.
Yes.
Seriously.
So, to wrap things up, Not Broken. Broken? Not I. Battered and bruised, dazed and confused, but not broken. Apologies and advice can all seem so nice, but remember, I'm not broken. Why does it seem that whenever I choose the time to move on, that I'm broken? Not she, not me, not we. This moment took strength, calculation, and courage, and I will never be broken by this, not by a change of status, not broken.
And that's Miss Heidi Gomez.
And that is Miss Heidi Gomez.
And this is us. I don't know. Can we put out into the music?
And that is
Daryl, Lydia. We thank you guys.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
much.
Cindy, Heidi. This has been a blessing, a pleasure.
We want to give a shout out to the Donut Plants.
Yes.
Maybe they will host one of our shows coming up soon.
Absolutely.
Heidi, thank you so much. This is a phenomenal platform. I love this platform.
Me too.
Poetry is part of life. I encourage anyone out there that's going through something, please either look for that person, that place, or that thing that brings you back to that happy place.
Don't
For us,
reschedule
it's
joy.
poetry. Do
It
not
is
reschedule
poetry.
joy. Until our next episode, we will see you guys on another platform.
See you
Have
then.
a wonderful one. Thank you.
Bye.